Last time I stood outside a Palazzoli factory, I was in Brescia in northern Italy, and with this weather, I must be back there again.
Well, close, Garrie. This is known as the Italy of Essex, but you may know it as Braintree, but it is the home of another Lewden Palazzoli factory. I'm here with an old friend, Garrie. What are we here to find out about today?
Yeah, we've got the TopTer range, and we're going to be looking at can it save electricians time and can it save electricians money when thinking about those installs in those industrial units.
Yeah, so let's dive inside. We're going to see how we built this unit.
Before I get a chance to take a deep dive into the assembly process of a TopTer, can you just remind us why we believe it will save electricians time?
You're right, Garrie. We see lots of examples out in industry where people are fitting multiple socket outlets in the same location. So you might have a three-phase outlet. You might have various types of single-phase outlet, all wired back to a distribution board where you've got individual RCDs protecting those outlets. So we think with a different approach using the TopTer, you can drastically simplify your electrical installation, which means potentially saving money.
So we're over here where we're going to actually assemble our eFIXX TopTer, and I'm terrible with names, so I could really do with some help. And you are?
Garrie.
Garrie. We like that one, so we're already on a winner. What's the first process you're going to do for us?
We're going to fit the box up, put the mechanicals in, and then wire it.
Okay, so then we'll introduce the wiring loom. Shall we start that process?
Yep.
So I've got the customer request form here and your diagram, Garrie.
Yep.
And it states here you've got 75 minutes to complete the project. Do you think they're built in the fact that I'm going to be pestering you throughout in order to complete it, or do you think we'll get it in time?
No, I think we'll do it in time.
Okay, it's coming together quite quickly already. It already looks like a TopTer. Obviously, is it the wiring loom that's going to take all our time?
Bit of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Also a few other bits and bobs that's got to be added at some point.
Could you give us an example of those bits and bobs?
Dim rails, terminals.
Do you do all your ferruling yourself, or are they pre-ferruled looms?
Do all that myself.
Oh, right, okay, so we've got 75 minutes, so we're going to be pressing for time.
Let's see how we go.
So we're at the point then where we're going to introduce this three-phase busbar. It's clever, isn't it? Can you just go through the components for
Well,
me?
you've basically got the shroud and then you've got the three phases.
And they're offset, aren't they?
Offset for each individual phase.
Okay, let's clip those together.
So when you put them together, that's your first phase.
Yep.
Second phase goes in the middle, offsets are about there. And the third phase would go like that.
Can we just clip it into position so
And
that's finished?
that should then just sit perfectly into there.
It wouldn't be an eFIXX video without having a little look at some ferrules, some class 5 tri-rated cable as well. All the wiring looms, are they always ferruled?
Correct, they are.
Okay, and it's always using that class 5 conductor as well?
Yes.
Can we see a bit of ferrule action then, please?
Of course we can.
So gentle twist, and in we go. 10mm squared.
Correct.
Yeah. What stage are we up to now then?
We're pre-wiring the sockets, ready to be loomed and then to be connected to the controls within the box.
Okay, and we're swapped over now. We're on the door side, is that right?
That's correct.
So we've nearly finished. There's one more process that I'm really interested in seeing, and that's returning the screws to the required torque setting as per the manufacturer. And you are the manufacturer, aren't you?
Correct.
So what's the torque setting we're going to go for?
2.4 Newton meters.
What a lovely experience it was to watch this wiring loom going in, how neat you've left it and dressed it, but I also admire the amount of room that we've got this side here for our supply cable. What sort of cable are going to be swooping down into the bottom of here?
Between 10 and 16 millimetre.
We've got an RCCB feeding all the circuits. Could we have perhaps had individual RCBOs if we wanted to?
Can do if you wish.
So while Garrie's watching somebody else work down on the factory floor, I'm here with Ian Peacock, Technical Manager of Lewden Palazzoli. Now Ian, we love the TopTer product. You know, we've used it a lot in our own factory. We're here exploring custom build today. You know, in our head though, as soon as we mention the word custom, we're straight away thinking, oh, that's an expensive option.
The solution is actually more cost effective. I mean, the parts are available within our standard catalogue range. An assembled item, you know, we're taking the onus on the design and responsibility of the build and the testing of the product. Then it'd be a more cost effective solution for customers by buying the item complete and ready to go than it is if they were to look for the parts themselves, try to find all the accessory items and build and test the product.
Yeah, and I mean there's a lot of part numbers in the catalogue, isn't there?
There is a lot of part numbers in the catalogue, yeah.
So the natural solution is that the best option is to come and say, right, this is what I want, 3-phase socket, I want a 16 amp single phase socket,
Yeah.
I want whatever I want building in there. How does that process work from an electrician?
They'll come to us looking for a solution. It may be for a factory or a logistics centre. We'll look and see what it is they're trying to achieve electrically, what kind of electrical supply they have. We'll make sure that we're going to design them something that meets 18th edition wiring regulations in terms of RCD protection. We also look to the mechanical side, and we've got indoor, outdoor applications, switched, interlocked, or different options that can lead you to a tailored solution each time.
There's that many choices in the catalogue.
Yeah.
So I just, could I just do a sketch?
We get a lot of architect drawings, even just what we call fag packet sketches from...
That's how we work, yeah, that's exactly how I think...
from customers.
Yeah, when we did the building site board, a famous sketch on the back of an LS Lousy, I think we call it, and just build us one of this, and it turned up to that specification. Now, does that process though take a long time? Because again, as soon as anyone mentions to me custom, once we've got the price equation out the window, but then I'm thinking, it's going to take ages, it's going to be some sort of difficult process.
No, I mean, generally for us, we're holding a lot of stock of these individual component parts ready to go. We can react pretty quickly if the customers need it, a couple of day turnaround or less. If someone's really desperate for something, I guess it's just going to depend on how complex they need to be and how many pieces they're ordering.
Custom build, if it's mega quantities, if it's hundreds or thousands.
No, we're quite happy on a one-off basis.
Right, so you'll do a one-off.
Yeah.
It's something I would definitely explore. And there's also flexibility, isn't there, in the circuit protection?
That's right, especially with outlets. I mean, you're looking at, a lot of time we don't know what's going to be connected. So we do a little bit of exploration with the customer and find out whether it's outlets for general purpose, whether they're feeding dedicated machinery, how important it is that machinery stays on if there's a fault, and whether they want to go down to the levels of individual RCBOs. We can cater for all. Absolutely.
And trying to fit that protection in a centralised distribution board, you end up needing enormous distribution boards where you can actually move that down to the local level.
Generally, these boxes comprise of a transparent window, so you can see all circuit breakers in a nice line without opening the enclosure. You can see the status. Plenty of room to distribute a single phase or a 3-phase supply coming in and break it down into the however many circuits we need with the overload, short circuit protection and residual current protection built in.
The unit we've specified there looks pretty standard, but we've seen as we've wandered around some examples of other projects that you've done. Yeah. We've discovered the cat flap.
Yeah, the famous cat flap. These type of boxes for applications such as maybe colleges or marketplaces. We'll do a feeder pillar that's got a front access door and a little, what we call a cat flap on the side, through which you can pass all your trailing leads. Yeah. Plug into the socket outlets on the TopTer unit, and then close the outer door so that no one can tamper while it's in use.
On that note, we'll go and see how Garrie's getting on with the final test of the unit we've specified here.
Okay.
We've finished the assembly process with Garrie and we've moved over to Juve. It's practice here for somebody to assemble and somebody different to test it. Are you going to show us that testing process?
Yes, I will. Thank you. So first I'm going to check the wiring diagram against what has been built inside the unit here. This is very, very important because sometimes they can make mistakes. So I'm going to check, I'm going to pass it through.
So a continuity test on the conductors now, yes?
Okay. Start from the bottom here. It's not live yet, so.
No.
First the first one. I'm gonna go this one.
So as you're belling it through, effectively you're doing a visual polarity at the same time, yeah?
Now I'm gonna close it, I'm gonna put live on it, and I'm gonna check the RCD and check the polarity of the sockets.
And you can do that from the front, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Get one first.
Happy with the polarity?
Yes, I will say it now. There we go.
Okay.
That's fine. It's on the right circuit. And the switch.
Functional test as well, yes?
Yeah. There we're going to check the RCD as well.
And it's an auto test, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the RCD test. Now I can check the polarity with this one as well. I check that one here. That one's done. Switch is working. Polarity is right. Right circuit.
So on completion of the test, what's left to do?
And that's it. I'm just checking again if the wiring is all right, and then I put my stamp on it and fill out the test form.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, Garrie, what's really impressed me is how quick this custom build process has been and how actually easy it is to go from that initial concept through to this finished product. Now, don't take our word for it. Check out the contact details below for Lewden Palazzoli and give the service a try yourself and let us know what you think.
Yeah, it's got a unique sticker now on our unit from our drawings. If we wanted to order any more, we just quote that sticker and the assembly process starts again.
Wow, that's good. And the next time you'll see this unit will be installed back at Lineside Studio where we started this problem off. You'll see we have multiple socket outlets where this solution is ideal. So we hope you will check out that video and give this a try on your next project, but let us know what you think below.